What in the 20s is going
in the
on?
20s?
Think about
The 20s, baby.
Plenty. What in the 20s is going on?
20s, baby.
This is the 20s.
Welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Zamam Kize, and this is What's in the 20s, a podcast where you listen to me grow through it, baby. On today's episode, it's so good. It's so great. It actually feels like such a surreal moment for me because I think it's such like testament that you really don't know, like when you're watching something years, behind and stuff, what it could mean for you in the future. But anyways, how I was introduced to her was essentially she was a YouTuber that I used to binge watch when I was in varsity, but since then she has become an actress, both on screen and theater, an entrepreneur, content creator, like a brand strategist. Everybody, Neo Rapetsoa, hello.
Hello, Sama. That was such a cute intro.
Was it? Yeah. It's just all the things you do. Just listing all the things that you do.
Man,
how do you feel? How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you. I'm doing better now that I'm here.
Yeah.
It's giving me
a little rush to get.
So I've been,
but you're good. I'm so happy to see you.
I'm happy to see you.
As I just mentioned, I started watching back in first year, so 2019, as I said to you earlier, which is so like, when you just see someone and you're just like, no, man, like I know you and I know you.
Person, yeah.
But yeah, how has it felt? I was just even saying and thinking about all the things, like as I just listed the things that you do and stuff. Why do you do so much, actually? Let's just start there.
Girl, like I said, I'm an overachiever.
Okay.
Like, I am genuinely an overachiever. But in general, my biggest fear is mediocrity. That's like, sorry to get deep right into it, but like, one of my biggest fears is mediocrity.
Yeah.
And whenever I feel like I find myself in a space where I'm super like overly comfortable or I'm no longer being challenged, I then go on and I venture onto the next thing. Of course, still giving like time to the thing that I was busy with, because I don't believe in like starting something and not finishing it.
Yeah.
But
man.
yeah, I really fear the concept of mediocrity and like and poverty.
It just doesn't suit me.
I don't want to find myself.
Okay, wait, hold on. Have you ever is there anything that you look back on that you didn't finish, and you just wish if you just like kept going with that, or that dream, perhaps like it's a dream that you have to mourn because you just didn't see it through or it didn't come to fruition?
I don't think there's anything I haven't finished that I wish I could go back to.
Oh, okay.
Some might say YouTube, but I think I've finished YouTube. I've
really?
done my due diligence. I'm not like completely finished, but like I'm finding myself shifting from being somebody who is a lifestyle creator to being a media personality. Meaning that like anything that I'm putting out now is more so around what I do in my work and less about like my personal life, which is why it's so difficult for me to navigate YouTube right now, because YouTube requires a lot of you. Like it requires you to share.
Yeah.
It requires to go into your personal space.
For sure.
So I'm just trying to build my brand as a media personality, as an actress, as a presenter, and so forth and so on. And hopefully one day media mogul.
Oh, come on.
And once I'm there, I feel like then there'll be a lot more to share on the platform.
Sure.
Hence why I haven't deleted the channel, because I do enjoy the content that's there and there's people that still watch it to this day.
Mm-hmm.
But also there is going to come a time where there's actually something for me to share with people outside of like going grocery shopping, and no shade to the people that do it. But like for me, I've outgrown it. So that's something that I'll say for now.
Yeah.
I haven't completed it, but I also don't think that that's a platform that you can ever like complete, if that makes sense. So yeah, no, but to answer your question, there's nothing really that I feel like there's nothing really
that you've left.
That I've left that I haven't like finished.
How have you found that shift though? Like adjusting in terms of like, don't you ever feel like a responsibility, right, to the people who've subscribed and stuff? Do you feel like that pressure, of them expecting something or wanting something and like you having to just be comfortable in letting that go?
Yeah, no, it's that's such a lovely question. Oh my gosh.
Because it's crazy. I understand why it makes sense for you.
Nobody's ever asked me that, because normally people ask like about me, but nobody ever asks like how I feel about the people that I'm like leaving behind. It really does break my heart. I'm not gonna lie, because the community that I've been able to build online has been one that has like carried me. Like in times where I feel like I'm not like now. I was telling you now when you're telling me like, oh my God, I used to watch you on. I'm like, girl, there were times where I feel like I am not doing anything with my life. And then you'll have someone random come up to you and be like, hey, listen, you got me out of this, so you helped me with this, you know. So I think for me, it does make me sad, but at the same time, I'm not completely off social media.
Yeah.
I'm just no longer sharing my personal life like that. But that's also because there's a lot of things that are going on that require me to make it personal and not to necessarily share with people. And the thing that I do appreciate is that I have explained myself, I'd like to believe.
Yeah.
I've never been like, okay, I'm just going to get away and bye. You know, I've tried to come back. I think last year I tried to come back. And guys, being an adult, being an adult requires a lot out of you. So like, even when I'm like, I'm going to do it. And then I'm like, yeah, no, actually, there's other things that really need my attention right now. But like I'm saying, it's not really so much so that I'm like, okay, cool, thanks guys for supporting me. I'm out, bye. It's more so just like, you guys can support me elsewhere. You know, you can support me on screen. You can support me on other platforms. You can hire me. You can,
you can. I think that's so interesting because it's also like having the trust that they will move with you where you go, right? But also if they let you go, also trusting that you will find your people wherever you go, like whatever thing that you start. Because I know that sometimes I sit with that, like, I don't know if it's anxiety and stuff, but I always feel a responsibility or whatever. And I just think like, if I were to do something else, would people not like side eye me? Like this was not why I followed you to begin with. But yeah, I think also just speaking on your point on just not sharing certain things and stuff, I think you were quite vulnerable, you know? Or you are quite vulnerable.
Yeah, I was very vulnerable. Like, guys, I started on YouTube at 15. Like, y'all literally watched me grow. I needed to step back. Like,
Is there a reason that made you feel like you actually shouldn't be, or you don't want to be sharing yourself in that capacity anymore?
You know, the older you get, the more depth your problems gain. Right? And the more depth your life experience gains in general. So it's no longer now, it's more so that the problems, I don't want to say problems, but the life experiences in which I'm enduring right now are no longer just about me.
Sure.
And they're no longer like, they're multifaceted. Yeah. So they involve a lot of other people now. And I don't feel like I'm taking away a safe space from the people in my life by trying to create a safe space for the public if I'm going to share certain things about my life, if that makes sense. Because there are people, the things that I'm going through, the older you get, the less you're going through things alone. Yeah. So the traumas that I have, the stresses that I have, it's not just about me. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's more so about the fact that if I'm going to sit on a platform and I'm going to share that, am I then being vulnerable for the public and then robbing the people in my life the opportunity to be vulnerable with me? You know, it's a very tricky thing to do. And it's not something I realized until there was a time, man. I think it was third year or second year. It was end of second year, where I found myself like realizing I've never actually sat in my life. Like I've never actually like been in something and been in it like entirely. So I found myself going out for lunches and thinking camera.
Okay.
Going out for this and thinking camera, family trips, camera, you know? And as much as I was still present, but at the back of my mind, I was looking at every opportunity, every moment that I'm supposed to be taking in as a content piece, which at the time I didn't realize I was doing it until one day I sat and I was like, when was the last time I actually was able to like just sit and have lunch? Yeah. You know, or just sit and like, and unfortunately, when you are a social media personality and when you are a content creator, a lot of your life requires you to think of life as though it's like a script, a production. Sure. You know, that's the moment. Let's get that. Let's do it again. And yeah, man, I felt like I was robbing myself the experience of life, especially my 20s. Yeah. Like, you know, and also like when I hit it off on YouTube, I was in matric. And I remember I was going to like, it wasn't a nightclub per se, but it was like a bar. My mom was very like, you're not going to a club until you're 18.
Forget about it.
She was like, forget about it. So I was super excited to get to matric because I was like, I'm not going to go to a nightclub because she was still very much like nightclubs are bad, like a bar, like, you know, those kind of places. She was a bit more lenient. My parents were a bit more lenient. So I was so excited. Yeah. I was like, yes, let's go. Get on the table. And then the time came and we stepped into this place with my friends. And it probably took me like 5 minutes to even get into the place because there was the public attention.
Oof.
And in
All
that moment, I
right.
realized
All right.
I can't experience this experience the way I wanted to.
Man.
I can't get lit with my friends if that's what I wanted to do. I can't, I can't just give my number to a boy if that's what I wanted to do. I can't get on a table if that's what I wanted to do. Like, I get on but like that moment I realized, oh, I'm not going to get to experience
That's not
18 like everybody else does, And it was the same thing in varsity.
Sure.
I was so excited to go to varsity because I was like, fresh start. Nobody knows me. Lo and behold,
you thought.
I thought.
You thought.
Oh, girl, I thought because varsity's in Joburg. Of course, everybody knows me.
Sure.
So then freshers as well. Oh,
man.
do you know, like I had to just, it took me so long to get out of my head. To be like,
of course,
girl,
of course.
if somebody sees you like dancing with somebody,
So what?
So what? But like for the first, I think
So
18,
everything, like
19, 20, 21, I was very like calculated with everything that I did. And I think that's what made me say, okay, no.
Man. Yeah.
I can't keep doing this. I need to have moments to myself. Yes, people still do know me now. It is what it is. It doesn't change the fact that I still am in the public eye, because now if I'm not on the YouTube screen, I'm on the television screen. But like,
now, you're gonna see me somewhere.
You're gonna see me somewhere. Okay.
yeah.
But like now I'm living less for people and for social approval. So yeah.
That's so difficult to do, like actually speaks to me more about just being more self-aware, in any space. I think sometimes it can also feel exhausting, right? Because you're checking yourself, you're checking the way that you're presenting in public, whatever, even though maybe no one is like approaching you, but you're aware that there is a
people
sense of...
are looking. Yes. It's the craziest thing. Because you're like, why is this girl staring at me, bruh? And then my friends have to be like, no, relax. Because one thing about me, I'm like, can't you say excuse me? Why are you staring at me? But my friends are like, no, I remember that. Like, I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh,
right, let's say hi. Like, don't just stare, babe. Like, yeah.
But yeah, like how has it like affected you, I guess? Because I mean, you said you did this when you were 15, right? And it's just now, it's 10 years later, essentially.
Oh my God.
It's been a decade, And yeah, like, do you ever feel, so there was something you mentioned earlier about like just feeling like everything's a production, right? When you're, and do you feel like you're constantly on stage? The performance element of it, of like how you show up in the world, even with your friends maybe, or whatever it is, like performing as a certain version of yourself that you feel like is adaptable for other people, or like, something that palatable, should I say?
Yeah. So the first time, the first time I realized that I was actually performing in my life was when I went to therapy at 21. I think I was 21.
Yeah.
And my therapist said to me, I want to challenge you. Stop acting. Like, stop acting. And I was like, girl, but it's usually. She said, no, in everything.
Oh, man.
Like, you make yourself palatable for everyone. Because things bother you, you don't bring them up because you don't want to offend somebody else. So you make your feelings palatable. You're performing. You're constantly performing. That's why. Because I used to cry in like schedules. a little
here, a little here.
I would literally cry and be like, okay, it's fine. Anyway, let's carry on. And
that's enough tears.
That's enough tears. Literally, I used to hate crying.
Oh,
I used to find vulnerability. I used to look at it as a weakness, and growing was realizing that it isn't a weakness. It's actually a strength.
Yeah.
But the fact that I'd always aimed to make myself palatable, even when it was not benefiting me at all, was when I realized like I was performing. I have been performing all my life. I have been performing. It is, and to this day, I don't think I perform right now, but there is still that hyper consciousness of trying to make sure, like being overly understanding, if that's a thing. So you're like, listen, you really hurt my feelings, and I would never do you like that. But I don't think you did that on purpose, so it's okay. I'm just gonna pretend.
I can see where you're coming from.
Do you know what I mean? And yeah, so to answer your question, I would like to say sometimes I'm making up words, but like I'm hyper self-aware to a point where it's exhausting. Like course. I'm like, it's my head. Did I say that right? Is my voice? And I guess being a performer also does go into that because in the same way that I'm able to be hyper self-aware with myself, when I'm in character, I'm hyper self-aware about my character. So yeah, like
and you performing the character,
and
like
me
if you're
performing the
doing a
character,
good
and
job,
then also the person I'm like performing with, and like
everything is just
everything. And I found myself like in situations. I think the one time where like a funny haha where I realized like, hey man, I'm performing was there was a time of my life where I was single and dating around and stuff. And one day I woke up and I said, I would not even say hi to you respectfully, like not to say anything is wrong with you, but like
I don't even like you. Like
that notion of like, oh, just because a guy likes me means I must give him the time of day.
For sure.
Having to outgrow that thing of like, just because people feel a way about you means that you have to like reciprocate that, So yeah, no. I definitely spent a long time of my life, and sometimes I still have those moments where I feel like I'm performing and I'm making myself palatable, and yeah. And I think also, sorry, I'm yapping.
No,
but
please.
The other thing that made me, oh, child, I'm getting deep. But
she got range.
No, but in high school, I was very, like I'm saying, I was an overachiever. I was in my head. It was my world.
Yeah.
My mom spoke about you, I'd find out months later. Like somebody would be like, didn't you see that they top at you? I'm like, girl, I did not see anything. Like I was very, and then for a long time that was used against me. Like my ability to just zone into my own world, and my ability to, like, I guess my overachievingness, like wanting to be the best at everything and
Sure.
For a long time that I wouldn't say used against me, but it was something that I'd realized some people didn't like about me. And so I learned to make myself palatable. That was the worst thing I could have done. Ugh.
How do you deal with people not liking you or misunderstanding you, or a narrative being painted about you that isn't, accurate?
If you asked me this question like 4 or 5 years ago, I would have like given you a whole different answer. Now, I don't care to be misunderstood by people I don't even want to understand. Like, if that makes sense. Like, I'm very big on like, if we have barely interacted and you've already decided the kind of person that I am, and I'd like to believe that I'm very easy to stereotype, confident, tall, black, like I'm very easy to stereotype. I would like to believe, right? And then I really enjoy when I interact with people and people are like, oh my God,
this
girl,
whole time,
But if I'm giving you a part of myself and you're choosing to misunderstand me, you're not for me to share myself with. And that's fine.
What with the old you? How would she have answered?
The old me? Girl, I don't even know. I think I would have been very much like, I would have lied about it. I would have been like, I don't care. I don't care about people's opinions. I don't care. They could just, knowing deep down, like, I hate the idea of somebody not liking me, But yeah, today I'm just like, you know what? People are going to like you. Some people don't like you. Some people are also just like professional haters. I have moments where I'm like, I just don't like her. Why? I don't know. I just don't like her. I just don't like her. I just don't, So yeah, like that's truly my honest answer is just, I always approach any human interaction with my most genuine self.
Yeah.
And if you're choosing to misunderstand me, then you'd already had like a notion pictured about me before I could even approach you. So I can't. Really
and it's exhausting to try and like change that, because
dude, have you ever tried to interact with somebody that's already decided the kind of person you are? It's so
and they're so committed to
exhausting, dude. Somebody who's already decided the kind of person that you are, no matter what you do, it's exhausting, because then you realize one day you're like, you just like you are committed to misunderstanding me. No matter what I do, you're going to be like, I've already decided Zama is
this.
And so whatever Zama does, it's going to feed into it,
And they're going to keep trying to find evidence to like coincide with that. Like, you see, I knew you were this type of person.
It's so exhausting.
It's just actually,
it's very tiring. Yeah.
I want to get into the overachieving aspect, because that's something I, relate to a lot, And I think it has affected me in a lot of ways. So it started primarily, I think, in school, right? And just seeing how academic validation pleased my parents. Seeing how...
You just like me, tweet.
Seeing like if you do well, if you are that daughter, right? How proud and amazing and all of that. And I think it all ties in even with the feeling of having to perform and all the rest. But like, I think that from understanding, my little brain understanding that like this plus this equals my parents being happy, my parents being proud, my parents celebrating me, talking to my other family members about like Zama has like this and this and this, I feel like has seeped into anything and everything, even my relationships with people, feeling like you can't just love me because I need to earn
it's
that.
A reward system.
Exactly. I need to show you, just how, why I deserve to be loved, by you, to be chosen by you, to be wanted by you, and all of that. I think I'm just interested if that is the same experience for you, has overachieving just kind of seeped into your relationships with people and socially.
100%. Can I ask, are you your firstborn daughter?
Technically, yes, but I have an older brother. But like
so you are the firstborn daughter. No, because I'm hearing that, I'm like, girl. Oh, girl, sorry. No, yeah, 100%. I struggle not to live on a reward system. Like I'd said this in a podcast that I did with Rambedi and Level Rambedi seated.
Yes.
I am like, if you buy me McDonald's fries, I have to buy you McDonald's. I'm buying you the franchise. If you are going to give me a flower, I have to buy you like a garden. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know. I think there's a part of it that you can appreciate, and there's a part of it that's exhausting, right?
For sure.
The part that I can appreciate is that I know I'm always giving my best in interacting with people, in anything that I do. I'm always giving my best. The part that's exhausting is that you expect the best from people because you're giving your best, and that's where it becomes very taxing emotionally, spiritually, physically.
Because you know what you put in.
Because you know, exactly. Like, especially when you're somebody that's always able to think ahead for people, think ahead of a situation. And then someone's like, oh, why didn't you think of that? What do you mean? What do you mean you didn't think of that? Like, so when I'm sitting and I'm thinking, well, no, it's like you're just counting the stars.
Why can't you
like,
apply yourself?
Why can't you apply yourself, Yeah, so it is something that definitely seeps into my relationships.
Yeah.
I've had my friends, and I'm so grateful for the friends I have. God bless them. My friends have had to sit me down and be like, dude, let us be there for you. Like, it took me, I think this past year was the first time I actually was going through something and I'd reach out to a friend.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like I was very like, I'm going to come to you when I figured out what I'm feeling. I need to articulate myself well. I need to, the overachieving thing. I can't be rambling and crying. I don't know what I'm feeling. Because I'm also scared of saying the wrong thing. What if I hurt you? What if the performance? So yeah, the overachieving thing definitely seeps into a lot of my relationships. And like you said, it was similar to the reward system that my parents had. I'm grateful for it because it taught me to be hardworking. And it taught me that like as an adult, as a person, you don't just get rewarded. You need to work. You need to be the best of the best. You need to be the top of the top. And I remember there was a time where I don't even think my mom will remember this, but it was in high school and I'd applied for head girl, right? And strong contestants, like it was happening. It was it was coming. And my mom said to me, and she said, "If you got head girl, do you think you'd be able to like let go of the other parts, like you being over opinionated, you being Miss Drama, Miss YouTube, because now you're a leader of the people. It's not about you. It's about the people. So you need to be able to, let certain parts of yourself go." And I was like, I care a lot about people, but not like that. Not like
that level of selflessness.
And I remember when I'd first applied, I'd said to my mom, and I was like, I feel like I'm going to get, my mom was like, you have to actually, like, I know the person that you are applying with, you guys are strong competitors, but you need to, in every field of your life, when you are a Black girl applying for something, you need to make sure that you are 20 times better. And if you don't think you are prepared to become 20 times better in that position, then be honest with yourself. Because that's what everybody's going to expect of you. What they're going to expect of your counterpart who is not in the same position as you versus what they're going to expect of you is not the same. And I'm so grateful my mom had that conversation with me, because I've applied that not just with like race, but also with like men, with like, a lot of things. It does apply to be like, sometimes things that are expected of you are a lot more than what's expected of another person. And it's frustrating, isn't it? Because you're like, why couldn't I just get away with being simple?
Yeah.
Why do I have to like hit every single thing above and beyond. But unfortunately, that's the path that we're given.
But it's also a bit of like a double-edged sword in a sense of like, I think desiring greatness sets you apart from people.
Yeah.
And I found that it at times even set me apart from my friends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of grief and, things that would happen in that. Like if I'm going to want to do more, whatever it is, it's like, oh, you think you're so special.
You think you're better than us. Yo, son. Don't you open up that window?
It's just like, oh.
Yeah. It's a very, man. It's a very double-edged sword. It's very much a double-edged sword. You're right in saying that, because on the one hand, you're so proud of yourself. It's that thing where they're like, the more successful you are, the less support you actually get, right? Because as human beings in general, no one is exempt from it. We don't like seeing people do better than us. We can be happy for them while still being envious.
Yeah.
We can be happy for them while still being like, I should actually get there. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's just our nature as human beings. And it's a very tough position to be in when you are seeking greatness and when you are constantly challenging yourself and you're constantly, trying to be better. And then you are met with people who are using your greatness against you, people who make your greatness about them. Like, I'm happy that you're successful, but now I feel like you've forgotten about me. And that time you're just saying that because I couldn't be on the phone with you the whole day or something. Do you know what I mean? I mean, in the same way, it does exist that you get successful and you do forget about your priorities, which are your relationships. But it's very common. Very common. Very common. Very common.
Ask about me.
It's very common. And sometimes I think a lot of times that's happened to me, I've just swallowed it. Because I look at friendship as like an honorable thing to be in. And I just never assume that somebody who has been my true friend in every aspect, and this one time when they're failing to be a true friend, they mean to do it.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like I want to come to you and be like, Zama.
Yeah.
So when I was successful and you, I make it less about being offended and more so about like, you hurt my feelings and I know you didn't mean to. I really, really believe you didn't mean to.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let you know in a time where I'm not so stuck on being like offended and angry. And it's a very difficult thing to navigate when you are in the position of like seeking greatness and you feel like the people around you. I've never felt like the people around me don't support me, but I maybe have had small moments where I'm like, I don't think you're supporting me the way in which I'd hope you would, It's very common. And I think in any aspect, in whether it be a romantic relationship, a friendship, family, you just have to give people the grace of, I don't think you meant to. There's people where you're like, oh no, you meant that. Let me tell you, you did that was weird. You meant it, But there's other people where you're like, there's no way you could have shown me love all my life. And now all of a sudden you meant to like be that spiteful. But it's hard. When you're successful, it's hard to see past you and your success. When you're reaching for greatness, it's hard as a human being to see past you and your greatness and what you're trying to achieve. And you're not realizing that the people around you can be hurt. They're allowed to have feelings. It doesn't mean it's against you. You just need to step back and be like, why did you feel like you needed to do that? Yeah.
Do you feel successful?
No, not even remotely. No.
Wow.
Not even slightly.
And that's so tough to reckon with, right? I think I have an insatiable hunger for wanting more or for wanting better or for wanting, and it is painful because I think sometimes it can take away from everything I have, but it's just, I don't know, like I still feel so far or like so behind.
I'm even in the wrong country. I'm in the wrong everything.
So I'm even just thinking with everything that you do, that you overachieve in and stuff, because it's not even that you just do things, you excel in them and stuff,
Thanks,
so
girl.
it's but that's the thing. It's like you're doing so great. What is the disconnect that you don't necessarily feel like that is, you know that you're doing great, but you don't feel like you're where you don't feel content?
I'm not doing great at the thing I feel like I was born to, which is act. That's my truth. That's my vulnerable truth. That is the only thing I want to do. That's the only thing I want to be great at. Well, okay, I'm not. But that is, oh man, guys, being a performer is like, you feel like when you're not performing, you can't breathe. You're not yourself. You feel like the rainbow's right there. The green field is right there. I can just run. But in order to run, I need to do this thing. And unfortunately, with my field of work, you have to wait for someone to give it to you. You can make it for yourself, yes. Oh, write your own scripts, yes. But at the end of the day, there's somebody that has to approve in order for you to reach that scale, right? And that's why for me, I'm like, even if I got 1 million followers and 1 million subscribers, for as long as I'm not excelling at performing, and for as long as I'm not waking up every day to get on a set and act, it really all will feel like it's a distraction. And that's my relationship with things like YouTube, social media. It all just feels like it's just a distraction. Like I'm just doing it to pass time. Because the other thing is, you have such a passion in you that you're like, there's no way God is just going to make me like forget about this. Like there's no way I'm not going to get to be where I want to be. Not when it's this heavy on my heart. Not when it's like, when I'm waking up every day and I'm like, and the good thing is, I get the reassurance when it comes to my ability to perform, whether it be talent, skill, commitment. I get the reassurance. But the greatest reassurance would be to be given the opportunity, And unfortunately with acting's not about you. It's a storytelling. You're storytelling. You can't be entitled to feel like you have to tell every story. It's a chosen gift. You know what I mean? The same way our ancestors had a storyteller in the fire, it's not everybody that can just come and tell every story. There's certain people that are meant to tell certain stories. And it would be so disrespectful of me as an actor to throw a tantrum that I'm not being given the opportunity to tell stories when that story reflects somebody else's real life. Like the last thing you want as a person is to sit and watch yourself, a life that reflects yours on a screen, but it's just not connecting. It's just not, and that's how deep acting is for me. And that's why I'm able to, as frustrated as I might be, as sad as I might be, I'm able to be like, you know what? God gave me this gift and God will decide when it's time for this gift to flourish. I can't sit here and want to take any and every role just because I want to have my moment, my breakthrough as a star. That it defeats the purpose of art. It defeats the purpose of art is to make people feel, to make people feel seen, feel heard. And how can I make someone feel seen and feel heard if I don't even look or sound like their story, So that's my relationship with success right now. And you know what? I could get the asking, you're going to ask me, do I feel successful? I might probably still say, because
that's what I mean by insatiable.
We're constantly moving the mark for ourselves. We're constantly just trying to outdo ourselves. And the sad thing is, you sometimes sit and you're like, when is it going to be enough? Yeah.
I'm curious to know if sometimes it ever, that feeling when you're doing well and you feel proud and stuff.
Yeah.
Does anything ever feel like it? Because I know sometimes with me, I feel it's so intoxicating. Like when I just feel like I got it, I did it, and I sometimes wonder if I'm willing to put certain things off, like friendships or, showing up for certain things, even romantically or whatever it is, because of how focused I am on achieving this goal or being successful or whatever that may look like. And I wonder if that's ever something that you ever think about, like this desire for more, does it ever surpass other meaningful things, or what other people may consider priorities and stuff,
Funny enough, I haven't been in the position where that has been required of me, but I don't doubt my ability to. Which is where I'd spoken about it as well on Seated. My fear with my career and the other part of my life that I seek, which is motherhood and being married, comes in. Right?
Okay.
Because those two things in themselves require sacrifice. But my career in itself requires sacrifice.
Crazy amount.
I could go to Cape Town for 6 months. I could go to another country for 2 years.
Yeah.
I could that, you know what I mean? And now
And the way that
imagine
you
all of
love
that
what you
and I'm married and I'm a mother. Do you get what I mean? Right now, I'm not in the position where I have to make those decisions. I'm still in the position where I can just drop everything and go. But I'm not getting any younger, and life is happening in a way, and like things like marriage, it's a covenant, it's a gift from God. Same with motherhood and all of those things. And it's like, it's almost like God is like a comedian. It's like, dude, what the heck? I would have it would have been much better if you had me having no desire to get married, no desire to have children, because I could really be the selfish career woman. But also, unfortunately, especially as Black girls, we're never shown the example of it being possible.
And longevity-wise.
You always have to sacrifice something. And Tato said to me the other day, and he'd said, you need to be okay with the merging of those things not looking the way you thought they would look. Like you not maybe being the mom who can make scaftines every morning, but you're the mom that can fetch her kids. You not being the wife who can wear the pinifa and like, you know, but you're the wife that can do this. You're not being the actress who can like say, guys, I'm going to be on set the whole day, but you're this. So it's like just allowing sort of God to use the cards that he's dealt you and let him shuffle them in the way that he knows. He knew the day I came out of my mother's womb exactly what was going to happen. So like the fear, I guess, it's just the fear of the unknown.
For sure.
But it's like, I really believe in whatever God has placed in your heart heavily is already out in the world. So there's no way that they're not going to work out. I wouldn't be the first. I wouldn't be the last, you know?
I know there's a friend of mine who said that the only reason she would, you know, have a child is if there's a lot of systems and stuff in place to help her raise the child, you know, whether it's getting extra help or care, a nanny and this and that, exactly.
Money.
Like, when all of those things are in place, you know, then she would feel like, but if it's a choice between one and the other, she doesn't feel like she could, you know, do that. And that's things we're speaking about is like it requires a level of
sacrifice. It requires a lot of sacrifice, and just everything about your 20s feels like you're constantly you're constantly learning. You're constantly being challenged. You're constantly losing. You're constantly gaining.
Oh, the losing.
Everything feels like it's just happening at a much more heightened level than it even should be. You know what I mean? Like you're just like, this should not feel this bad, but it feels horrible. And that's what like I feel like your 20s feel like in general. When I lose something, I'm losing. When I win, I'm winning. You know, and it's almost like this feeling of like when you're doing great, but you don't want to be comfortable in the doing great, because then a lesson is going to come and something's going to come. When you met the right person, but you don't want to be too in love, because what if, you know, when you finally have that friend, but you don't want to be too comfortable, because what if it's just a constant like, you're just on a scale. You don't know which way it's going to tip. But unfortunately, it has to tip. It can never be balanced. And I think it's because like so much of our 20s is about discovering, learning, because how boring would it be if it was balanced, right?
Yeah, for sure. And even in the learning, it's also the unlearning, and it's like it's the undoing, you know, like it's so exhausting. Also, you know?
And it's like your future is in your hands. Who decided my hands are capable of a future? I'm like,
and that's why
who makes that decision?
Because it feels like our 20s is us designing the rest of our lives,
right?
Know, like
which is
what
also
we do
ridiculous,
in our 20s, right?
Because guys, if we're being honest, man, like if we're being honest, our 20s are just a trailer. I'm not gonna. Our 20s are just a trailer. But literally, you feel like everything is falling apart. But it's just a trailer, babe. Like, it's really just a trailer. You just need to put your best foot forward.
Yeah.
Because truthfully, I never used to understand when, like, my older cousins, my older siblings were like, dude, once you turn 30, like, that's when your life actually, like, starts. Like, that's when, when you're actually a human being. Right now, just allow yourself to. And I was like, you guys are lying. You guys are really like, you know? And now I'm like, oh, yeah, this is... I'm gonna just do it. I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna. I don't actually have to have it all figured out. And that's something that's very difficult to come to terms with.
For sure.
It's like I don't have to have it all figured out in my 20s, because you're like, if I have it figured out in my 20s, then my 30s I can relax.
Right?
If I figured out in my 30s,
I can retire at 32.
I can retire. It's just what a lie. Lie. That's a lie.
Because the thing is, lots of people are like, I don't want to be working at this age. I don't want to be this. I don't. But like life is just.
Because you could be extremely successful in your 20s, then your 30s wet. Well, I mean, we rebuke, but
yes,
you know,
but things happen.
Things happen,
and life is so tumultuous. Oh my word! When you think
we don't even know what's gonna happen in the next hour. Do you know that? Like, it could all just switch up overnight. And I think that's also something that's allowed me to give people grace. Like, you know, the whole thing of like having kids outside of marriage. I'm very passionate about it, but life is teaching me that like,
oh man,
there's a lot of people that I don't think actually just woke up and decided they want to do it. Do you know what I mean? Life is not, it doesn't happen like that. It doesn't always happen the way that you think. Life happens the only way it knows how to, not the way that you have designed it to. You know? And that allows you to give people grace. So also, it allows you to want to hear people's stories, man.
Yes.
I feel like we're so caught up in our own worlds.
It's so nice to know. I don't know. The way that I think about it is that there's multiple ways to get to something, you know, and even with what you're speaking about with children outside of marriage, you know, you could get married and get divorced, you know, you could end up being a single mom anyways, even though you did it, you know, a certain way and stuff like that. And like it's exactly what you're saying, like having that grace. Sure. I think when you're raised Christian, right, very often it's very difficult for you to understand the world a different type of way because this is the reality and the way that it is and stuff. But like learning to offer compassion, empathy and stuff, I think it's something we need to, you know, teach more. And because like life is so crazy, like things happen and it changes. And like, I just like what you're saying about that. Like also like hearing people's stories, how they got to this thing, how they...
people. I love
what a thing
to know
like
people.
tell me about
like tell me your story you know. And that's also another thing why I've started like straying away from interviews and more from like conversation styled interviews. Because girl, how many times can I tell you guys when I started YouTube? Like how many times can I
every time I was 15 I was 15 you know.
How many times can I tell, you know, a story? But it's so much nicer when we're sitting and I'm telling you about myself, but I'm also learning about you. And, you know, the people who are listening, they're learning something about themselves. And I think it's so beautiful. Like life is so beautiful when we allow it to be about more than just the things that we have our heads so like fixated on, you know, we're so fixated on the money and the ring and the child and the this. And it's like the thing that makes life is the in-between moments. Oh my God, thank God I woke up and I really enjoyed that bowl of muesli. That was a good bowl.
That was a great
bowl of muesli. And I really enjoyed interacting with that, you know, that lady Koshopraite. She has such a nice smile. Like those things, the pockets of joy are in those moments of life. I feel it's not so much about like the big things. And this is something I'm only learning recently. Before I used to be like, success means the big house and the this and the that. And listen, still do. But
don't get me confused.
I still want that money, okay? I'm not out here. But the thing that makes the house the home, it's not the furniture. It's not the awards. It's not the car. It's the people in it. It's the small things that you enjoy. It's the fact that the fridge is filled with your favorite things. It's the fact that, you know, the person that's in your house chose to be in your space. Like those are the small things like where I'm just like, this is really nice. I rushed here. I was going crazy, but I'm like, I get to know Zama. I'm really excited to get to know Zama and meet her. And like, I'm like, oh, she has such a cute smile. She laughs like this and she does this. And you know, like those things, I think it will help us a lot more in our 20s and life in general, is if you're sitting and you're stuck in the spirit of complaining. It's just to sit back and be like, what can I be thankful for right now? What can I be? I'm crying in a car. I'm crying in a car. At least I'm crying in a car. You know? Or, oh my God, I just lost my job, but I can go back home. I have a home to go back to. You know, there's when you I really believe in like when you shift life from like what offended me, what made me angry, what I'm losing, and just being like, but how blessed am I that I'm able to be in this position? Or, you know, that I'm able to experience this like this. Or whatever the situation might be. Yeah.
You know, as you're speaking, it's making me think of, so I did theatre and performance in varsity.
Oh.
And I think, you know, when we speak about performance, I remember the performance, you know, you build up to it.
Yeah.
It goes by so quickly. And I think for me, that's when I realized like the joys were the rehearsals. That was when I was actually, the joys were like discovering the character, the
getting to know
laughs
the
that she
other
have.
actors,
During like, and I
yes.
think that's life really. Like we keep building to it. I feel like I don't even enjoy when I achieve something or whatever it is,
Yes.
but it's like realizing it was all like seeing myself expand, seeing myself shift and be challenged and all of that. Like that was the real treat. Like that was the actual, because like you get this award or whatever it is and it's just a moment and then it moves on.
It moves on,
Next year
right?
it's the next person and
Yeah.
stuff, whatever. But it doesn't make you any less of that person, But
Yeah.
it's like, you realize it's everything it took for you to become that version of you that was just the dream, like,
Yeah.
and I just love everything you're saying, like just in the things of even how you treat yourself and what's in your fridge and all of, like, it's such a lovely way to think about life and find fulfillment in that too, because also, as we're saying, so much can happen even the next hour. We don't want to know, know, and I think if we live our lives just so focused on that thing that we want, that like we miss out.
Yes, on so much. And I think the other thing that made me realize this was the career that I'm in comes with like fame, right? Popularity, stardom, all those things. And one thing that I've realized about the people in my field of work, or public figures in general, is that you get so fixated by being called by your titles, your achievements, Oscar award winning, Emmy, what, SAFTA, and it's like, that's all good and great. But then once you've left the person and now they're over the fact that, oh my God, I got to touch her, I got to smell her. What else can they say like about you? Can they be like, she actually looked at me when I was speaking to her. She smiled. Obviously, we don't have the time to always do that. Sometimes life does get overwhelming, but it's like when you have the opportunity, I really feel like I spent so long wondering, like, what's my purpose? What's my thing? What's what am I supposed to? And then the other day I was doing my devotion and I realized like mine is to make people feel seen. Like I'm actually here to make people feel seen, to make people feel like I see you. Like I see you. I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what's happening. But I see you, And I never realized like why people, because the thing that made me realize that was my purpose is people always felt drawn to have to open up with me, share with me, reach out to me, And I was like, why y'all trust me with your secrets like that? What? And the one time my little cousin, I'd taken her out for lunch and I was just like, let's just, do lunch. And she was like, this is the first time I feel like somebody actually sees me. And I feel like that's the greatest gift we can give people, is to like interact with them like you are a human being. I see you. I hear you. Forget I'm an Oscar, what, but when all of that is gone, we're human beings. And we all have things that bala us. We all have things that we're great at. We all have things but to be able to share a smile with somebody, to be able to share a hug, a laugh, whatever. It's those small things, that make people feel like, okay, like I'm actually not useless. I'm needed on this earth. I actually don't want to, put an end to certain things. I just want to feel better. I actually don't want to like disappear. I just want to not feel like I'm fighting all the time.
Oh, a lot of people can resonate with that.
A lot of people, a lot of us feel like that. Do we feel like
everything is a
guys, like things are heavy. But then it's like when you're sitting with somebody and you're like, all I know we met, but you're here, you're giving me the time of day. And that's why I asked when we started the interview, like, why did you choose to speak to me? Not because like, why me, girl?
Why do you want me?
But I wanted to know, like, what is it that you saw in me that made you feel seen, or that made you feel like I actually really want to get to know this person, Yeah.
Do you feel seen? And on a very genuine and personal level, do you feel validated?
Acknowledged?
Okay.
But I think that's also because I've never struggled with being acknowledged.
Yeah. I'll make sure of that.
I've never struggled. Like as a child, I was the confident girl that walked in the room and so y'all gonna see me anyway, Being seen isn't my struggle. Being heard is my struggle. Yeah. Being seen is not something that I ever felt like I lack. It's more so being heard to be understood. I feel like I'm very misunderstood when I speak. Like, yeah, I think I'm easily misunderstood. Yeah. So that's for me, but I don't hold it. I don't feel entitled to be heard by everybody. I don't feel like it's everyone's responsibility to see me, to hear me, to understand me. I appreciate the moments where I am heard. And I appreciate the moments where I am seen. I feel seen by the people in my life.
Yeah.
100%. They see me, they see my hurts, they see my challenges. My people are able to look at me and be like, you're not fine. And I'm like, what you mean, girl? And they're like,
no, sister.
you're not okay, you know? And that's that's the level of being seen that I appreciate. It's difficult sort of when you are partially in the public eye to know whether or not you feel seen, because you're always being looked at. You're always being perceived, right? So you're just like, people are always seeing me. So do I feel seen? I mean, people are always seeing me. You know what I mean? So, and I think that's why I like strive to interact with people in the most genuine way possible. Like, even if we're having a 2-second conversation and you coming to me like, hi, now, I'm like, girl, what's up? You know what I mean? Because that's how I interact with people. And I think that's when people get to actually see you. But yeah, like it's difficult. I really wonder. I want to ask all my friends in the public eye, like, do you feel seen? Because you're always being perceived. So do you feel seen? But yeah, I feel seen by those that
I mean, all of it, like seen, understood, considered, you know, like valued.
Considered. That.
Do you?
If you ask me that, that one.
And that's painful.
That's one I'm not very sure of. Yeah. The thing that I was saying to you about how, like, people will be like, oh, I didn't think of that. Or, I'm sorry I did that. But then the sorries come after the damage is done. And yeah, that's...
And you have to do the work, you know? It's like, even though somebody else is responsible and stuff like that, you have to do the work to repair and to trust them again or whatever, if you choose to keep them in your life and all of that. Like, it's painful, especially if you consider yourself as someone who considers people, you know, I don't know if that's how you feel, but like, yeah, if you feel like you're well, you did mention earlier, if you feel like you're always thinking about, like, you know, the next person, or if they would like this, or, you know, things that make sense to the other, you know, I think, that betrayal, I think it feels like betrayal.
Ooh, girl. And like, I hate to bring the whole firstborn daughter thing up, but guys, please check on your firstborn daughter friends, please. Like, everybody, actually, just check on your friends that are a black daughter in a family. Just check on them.
Because we inherit that role of just
just seeing everybody, considering everybody. Everybody, come on, we got space. Everybody. And, you know, I was having the conversation with my friend the other day, and I was like, it's very difficult when you have to come to terms with the fact that the people that were meant to protect you, support you, whatever, had moments where they failed you. It's a very difficult thing to come to terms with, because you're like, you didn't fail me entirely, but in this moment, you really.
And I was counting.
That's changed the trajectory of my life. And there's nothing I can do but to just move on, keep on keeping on. But you really, like, that one decision that you made where you didn't consider me has changed everything. You know, whether it be your parents, whether it be your siblings, whether it be your partner. Yeah, it's a very difficult thing to come to terms with, to be like, wow, not only did you not consider me, but you failed me. Like, you, and by failed me, I think I mean, like, you dropped me in the water, you tipped the boat over, and I can get out the water, I can get back into the boat, but I'm wet now. My lotion is gone, the layers are gone, the perfume is gone. I smell like water now. I smell like the failure. I smell like the damage. I smell like the hurt. There's a layer that you stripped off, you know, a vulnerability that you stripped off, purity that you stripped off, in your decisions to not consider me. And we do that with people as well. You're capable of hurting people. And I think it's a very difficult thing to come to terms with. especially when you're in the position, like you're saying, of constantly feeling like you're considerate people, but everybody thinks they're considerate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody Somebody's going to be like, Summer, you weren't that
Yeah, someone's going to be like, no, girl, you didn't consider me in that time. But, we just...
Man, this is... I feel like we could... You see, once we open that first daughter thing, I could go on.
This whole episode should be about being a first daughter.
Honestly,
I could go, guys,
it's just
listen,
like,
give me the stage.
I'm glad you asked this question.
I'm glad somebody asked. I could go on for days. And you know what I really want to do one day? I really want to have a conversation with a firstborn son.
Yeah.
I really want to have like an open conversation where I'm hearing like, because I don't think there's certain places where the struggles are the same, but there's certain places I don't think they're the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're not raised the same.
We're not raised the same, right?
Yeah.
And because we're the doers and everything that we are raised to do is very physical, it's out in the open, whereas with men, everything about them is a lot more internal. You never really know, So yeah, that's just sorry, that's a side note. But I'd love to
just to wrap up that side note.
Episode
like,
for you. Like, I love please have me there. I want to just be a
because I also feel like you're playing both energies, also both the feminine and the masculine, like into everything in terms of also being the provider, protector, and all of that, and being the nurturer. And okay, to wrap.
It's exhausting. We're exhausted. We're tired. Check on us.
Every woman in me.
Every knows
every woman in me.
Tired, sure.
But I would love to know. Do you, just in terms of speaking about everything, in terms of our ambition, confidence, desire for success and all of that kind of stuff, do you feel...
Oh, you're so lovely to talk to. Sorry, I'm like looking at you and I'm like, you're like a ray of sunshine. Like you're warm. You're very warm. You're very nice to speak to. Sorry, I just needed to throw that in there. Like, I'm looking at you and I'm like, wow, this is so nice. This is
I'm going to clip this part and play it on repeat. Thank you so much. I'm really enjoying this conversation. But yeah, I was just wanting to know, do you feel enough?
Yes, I have learned to. I learned to feel enough when I stopped making my worth lie in the hands of other people and what other people do. There was a time where me feeling enough was rooted in how happy my parents were,
yes,
how happy my siblings are, how happy my friends are,
yes,
and now I've taken that back to myself to be like, I can't be responsible for people's feelings towards me. My enoughness, my worth needs to be rooted in me and my creator. And for as long as I am opening a book and every day it is telling me I am wonderfully and purposefully made, I have these plans for me not to perish, but plans for me to prosper. I am made in the image of God.
Wow, what a state.
Right? For as long as I am constantly leaning on the fact that there is a greater power who decided that I am worthy of being here and I am worthy of the life that I'm living, then I have to be enough, And for as long as I'm whole in myself, then I have to be enough. And I think there's something about leaving your worth in other people's hands. It creates an interdependency, especially with romantic relationships and with friendships and with families. We have like now embellished family. Is it embellished?
Enmeshed, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. But it creates an interdependency. And that's when you're unable to see your life from a point of abundance because your worth is in somebody else's hands.
And that has a limit.
And that has a limit. You can't see how good your life is supposed to get when it's in the hands of people who they especially even with our parents, like we root so much of our being in our parents and because they made us but they were chosen, right? They were chosen. Any child could have come out of them, but it's you. They were chosen. There's something great. There's something so beautiful about believing in a greater power because then you really just let it all go. Like you submit to the fact that, guys, there's no way I'm supposed to figure this all out by myself. And whether that greater power comes in the form of but being able to let go to a greater power and have a word that you can access that's constantly reassuring you that, listen, there is something bigger than you and you are enough. You are exactly who you should be. So for me, I can actually, for the first time, confidently say, I am more than enough. Yeah. Do you feel like you're enough, Sana?
How can I not after being
feel like
reminded of the word, and the word that is the same yesterday, tomorrow, and forevermore doesn't that is something I struggle with. Inadequacy, and it's not because I'm not doing enough. I think it's really because I'm constantly battling the gap between where I am now and where I'm trying to be, But just hearing that reminder, it's like,
yeah,
man.
And something that I think, I don't know if it'll help you, but it helped me clearing that gap of feeling enough with where I am now versus where I'm supposed to be, is that the fact that you were given the gift to even dream or desire or be ambitious towards that goal means that you are enough to get, like, this version of you isn't the fact that you see it. There's things where we're like, oh, I dream for a Porsche, but there's things where you're just like, this is exactly what's going to happen in my life. When something is that engraved in your spirit, in your heart, then it has to be yours. And who else can carry it but you? And how can you not be enough to carry something when it's engraved? If it's already there, that means
the seed was sown.
You know what I mean? The seed was sown. Exactly.
Wow. No, I don't even... Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you truly just for... Yes, being so expansive with everything and even just being vulnerable. Like, I know we started off like, oh, I was too vulnerable.
Yeah.
But it's like, I feel like you still have the capacity and the range to share yourself in ways that it's doing a lot, and I truly appreciate it. If you don't mind telling people who don't know you, crazy, where to find you.
Find me on all my social media platforms at Neo Rapetsoa. You can find me on IMDb at Neo Rapetsoa. And, look out on your screens. You might just see me once or twice. You can find me there. And if you see me on the road, just say hi.
Just say hi.
I don't bite, I swear.
I look forward to having you here again. Thank you again.
Thank you
so much.
Oh, Thank you. Please don't stop. This is beautiful, Zama. This is beautiful. Like, no matter what the numbers say, no matter what, don't stop. This is beautiful. You give people the opportunity to be in your presence and give people the opportunity to feel your warmth. There's something about, that's why I keep saying like, oh, dude, you're just such a lovely, there's something about your like presence that's very like, it's almost like comforting. And if that's the reason of this podcast is just for you to like share your warmth with people, then so be it. Don't stop. This is very lovely. I love to see a black girl win. I love to see you.
No,
win.
Thank you. As always, I'm sending my love. Goodbye.
What in the 20s is going on?
In the 20s here.
The 20s, baby.
Plenty.
What in the 20s is going here for my 20s, baby? This is the 20s.